You can always count on Bud Light, just like you can always count on Always Game Gary. No bar is too far. No wing sauce is too hot. Not for Gary. Always Game Gary is famous among friends. He deserves a Bud Light. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, AB St. Louis, Missouri.
It is Wake and Take here on 790 The Ticket. I have plenty of thoughts, notes, opinions on a number of different topics. It is your job to get that information out of me. Yes, it would be easier if I just opened up my microphone and shared my information and my opinions with you, but that's not how we do it here. You have to pry it out of me. You have to ask the right questions. 786-456-4837. That is 786-456-4837. We'll take your phone calls. It is Wake and Take. But first, we interview Guillermo.
Wow.
Guillermo.
Hey, Stu. You good?
I'm good. You good?
I'm good. Mike, you good?
I'm good, Roy. You good?
I'm good. Chris, you good?
I'm good. Dan, you good?
I'm good.
Dan's good. Allison, you good? Allie, you good?
Allison, you good?
No,
she hates the open. She hates the open. She thinks the open is annoying. As many listeners do.
Allison, you good? Allison, you good? You good? You good? You good? You good?
Yep.
You good?
Yep.
You good? She's good.
You good?
She's good.
Dan thinks the Wake and Take open annoys the listeners. You guys agree?
I haven't really had that feedback yet.
Right.
Thank you.
Check the text.
All right. Hold on. Check the text.
We'll check the text after the show, and we'll data mine. We'll sift through the feedback, both positive and negative, and we'll recalibrate if necessary.
I'm reading the text. It says, yes, Wake and Take. Mike nailed the intro.
Read them all.
Seems pretty positive.
Read them all.
Do the real slow one. What's the phone number again?
You should help them out.
Wake and Take with a exclamation point. Bleep you, Mike. Don't be obnoxious, Mike.
That could be about anything.
Yeah,
though.
it really could.
Let's put it on the poll. Is the Wake and Take open annoying? Yes or no?
We've already done that.
What were the results?
50-50.
Really? 50-50.
Really?
That's never happened before.
Has that ever happened
I don't
before?
think that's ever happened.
No.
Wow.
That can't be right.
First time for everything.
It would be the first time
That was then. This is now, though. Let's try it again, Guillermo. I'm interested.
Okay.
But first, let's interview Guillermo. Udonis Haslem, Guillermo, he made a statement yesterday that to Derek Jeter, saying, please don't trade Giancarlo Stanton. It's his son's favorite player.
I love that your show prep is listening to Tobin Sports Flash.
It is. Is that a request? Is he making a request, or is he simply is he giving an opinion, or is he telling Derek Jeter, "Don't you dare, bad things will happen to you"?
Well, I haven't heard it. I heard it first from you, who you heard it from Tobin. But I don't think UD makes requests. Like, that's a direct order. Like, you're not getting rid of Giancarlo Stanton if you know it's good for you.
Right.
And I know that Jeter's new to town, but I would heed that warning. You do not want to cross paths with UD. Dan, you agree?
You agree with that? I mean, listen, you're a new owner here, right? Like, the last guy you want to cross in town, like, you're not getting off to a good start if you upset UD.
If
Dan?
Derek Jeter wants to fit in, he should listen to UD, not fit out.
Exactly. What do you think, Dan?
Why is it his second favorite player? Why is it his son's second favorite player? Why isn't it his son's favorite player? Who is his son's favorite player?
I think he said Sam was his favorite player.
I think he said it's his
I'd like to try to guess who his second favorite player is.
Yeah.
Maybe Straley?
You think UD's son's second favorite Straley?
Straley?
Did I misunderstand? $2, by the way, Guillermo. Did I misunderstand what it is that you
It would
said
appear.
there?
It would appear so.
Yeah.
I thought you
it's his
said-
favorite player. I don't think he cares that much about his second favorite.
Yeah, that wouldn't be much of a lead.
Yeah. It's his son's.
Well, that's
favorite
why I
player.
found it awkward. I thought you said
It's
second
his favorite player.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if I heard Tobin correctly, I think he said it was his favorite
Yeah,
player.
they're going to trade him. Like, he's going to be gone. They're not.
But
Gonna,
Haslam's telling him not
Haslam
to
said
trade
don't
him.
do
Right.
it.
Haslam said
Yeah.
don't do it.
Yeah.
well, they're going to trade him and then thus make Udonis Haslam
Is that-
mad.
I wouldn't want to do that.
Is that a report or you guessing?
I'm reporting that.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know anything
You're
other than they're going to trade him.
Do you
Wait,
know?
whoa.
I don't want them to trade him.
You are a credible journalist, man. Credibility is everything to you. Are you reporting the Marlins are going to trade Giancarlo Stanton?
I am reporting that the Marlins are going to trade Giancarlo Stanton
Wow.
based on no other
Wow.
information other than obvious common sense.
Whoa.
Do you happen to know who UD's son's second favorite player is?
Well, what I thought was that Jose Fernandez was his favorite, and then Giancarlo Stanton was his second favorite. That's what I thought was happening there. Which doesn't really answer your question.
Well, not to be a stickler about things, but that means that Stanton's still the first favorite.
Oddly enough, Martin Prado.
Huh. Really? Oh,
Prado, huh?
Who's your second favorite player?
yeah. Who is your second favorite
On the
player?
Marlins?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, is Stanton your favorite player?
Bohr is my favorite player.
Really?
Or is
Wow.
your favorite player? Wow.
Mellow Crush Room.
Interesting. So is Stanton your second favorite player?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it would be bad if they traded your second favorite player. Like, I would care if they traded your second favorite player. So if UD's son's second favorite player is Stanton, he would care if they traded him too.
Can I ask you guys this question? I'm curious because
Our second favorite players?
no, I'm not
Oh.
curious.
Mine's
about that
Yelich.
at all.
Yelly.
I'm on the fence. I don't know if Ozuna's my favorite player, if he's my second favorite player. And I like D also. There's so many guys I like on this team, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, talk to me in a month about who my second favorite player is, and we'll see if I can name any
Don't
players.
get too attached to them. They're going to be gone soon.
I know, it's so sad.
I like Nicolino.
Nicolino, wow.
I believe Dan had a question for us, though.
That's okay. I'm just fitting in. Like
No, no,
we can-
and
we can
you're fitting
skip-
in well. No,
we
no.
can skip my question. That's fine.
No, this is part of fitting in. You had a question, and we got sidetracked with our agenda, but you sat
Guillermo's second favorite player was our agenda, right?
there, and we
Guillermo
sat.
loves Guillermo. I see so much hawk in Guillermo.
Really?
Oh, watch it, Guillermo.
High praise?
Watch it. Oh, I don't know. Well, it depends which hawk.
Guillermo loves that microphone, and he would like me to be gone. My girlfriend has cats, right? My girlfriend has cats, and the cats don't like me, and I love having a feud with the cats. Like, I say nice things to the cats in a mean voice, and I say mean things to the cats in a nice voice, and, like, I just love to have them as my nemesis, but everybody involved in the cat kingdom would prefer I not be around when my girlfriend is around. And I'm coming to understand that Guillermo prefer to do Wake and Take for 4 hours because it's the Guillermo show.
No, I prefer to do Wake and Take with you. You're my favorite on the show, Dan. I'll say it. So when you're not here, it's sad for me.
Yeah, sad for all of us.
Yeah.
What was your question?
What was it?
Do you have more of the feeling when Bohr is hitting that he's going to hit a home run every time than you do with even Stanton? Because I feel like, and I know this isn't numeric, this doesn't make any sense, right? But I feel like Bohr is someone who's going to hit a home run every time he swings the bat, and I don't feel like that with Stanton. I feel like Stanton misses a lot of good pitches, and I'm doing it all with my eyes, and my eyes might be lying to me, so I'm asking you and the audience, do any of you guys feel this way?
That's what happens when you have a favorite player.
Yeah.
You throw stats to the wind.
Believe in your
You believe in your favorite player all the time. This happened with me with Damian Easley.
Really?
When he was a pinch hitter.
Interesting.
I refuse to believe the average that the stats were telling me. Every time that guy came up, he got a hit.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah. I feel like that happened with people with Alfredo Meziga. He was terrible, but everyone loved him.
Mez-
Yeah,
Mezzi.
you're right. The stats did not make sense with the Meziga at all.
Wasn't that his name? What was his nickname? What was it, Guillermo?
Wasn't it the amazing Ameziga?
Oh, yeah.
Amazing!
Yeah.
Meziga!
Which he wasn't
Bad
amazing,
nickname.
really, if you
Really.
think about it.
Yeah, he's fairly routine.
It really does
maybe.
pale
Kinda
compared to
average.
your. It really does pale in the shadow of your epic Mezzi.
I think it was Mezzi, though. I think that was his official nickname,
It wasn't.
Mezzi.
It absolutely was not.
I'm going to find out right now.
Really?
Yeah. That's what we do here at Fit In, Dan.
Who's your favorite all-time Marlin?
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Sheffield? That's a good one. Sheffield, if I had to guess, I'd say Sheffield was my favorite as well. We have the same favorite player. Who's your second favorite Marlin of all time? Mikey
Moises Alou.
Ooh.
I liked him. He was my favorite in 97.
He was my favorite. He was my favorite Marlins player that ever.
Now, but hold on a second. We're talking about in real time, right? Because as a person, my favorite Marlin ever is absolutely Mike Lowell. Just as a person, and Conine is right there. But they're. I mean, I consider those two guys friends.
I like Mike Lowe. I saw him at a Pitbull concert once.
I was at a concert with Kelly Olynyk.
Were you really?
Yeah, he's sitting right in front of me.
Is it Olenek or Olenek?
Olynyk.
Cares? Tomato.
Yeah. Okay.
Where? What concert?
It was a rock concert. It was at Mumford & Sons.
Of course it was.
Yeah.
Of course. In fact, if you had to take a guess on Olenek and the concert he's most likely to be at, can we get some opinions on that?
Yeah, sure.
More, I think of him more as a new metal guy. POD, Korn, Alien Ant Farm, that whole era.
Yeah, Mezzy was his nickname.
I feel both were in their element, though. Mike Lowell,
Where did
Pitbull.
you find that? Where did you look that up?
I found it.
Where did you look it up?
Doesn't matter.
Source the material. Source it.
The text machine.
So you didn't find it. You searched the entire internet, nothing came back. And one person on the text machine said, Stugotz, you're right. It's Mezzy. Mezzica's nickname was Mezzy, and that's your confirmation?
Several people on the text machine.
Ooh, you know who my second favorite Marlin was? I'd like to take that back. My second favorite Marlin was Jorge Cantu.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Cannot. Cantu.
Yeah, he's a good one.
What an infield that was. Remember that infield,
Oh, my
Dan?
God.
Cantu, Jacobs, Ugla, Hanley. They almost all had 30 home runs in a season, but Cantu hit that stupid car in the outfield on the wall in San Francisco. Everyone would have had 30 home runs if it wasn't for that stupid Chevron car.
Yeah,
he hit the roof, or
Yep.
the surfboard on the roof. What's the deal with that wall? So stupid.
Juan Pierre in the mix for anyone?
Juan Pierre was
I
fun.
love Juan
Pierre
Pierre.
was
He
fun.
was fun.
I once
Yeah.
made the argument with Cantu that if a team full of Jorge Cantus existed, they'd win the World Series.
That's right. That is an argument that you made.
Yeah.
That's not even Juan Pierre's not even my favorite Marlins center fielder. I mean, Chuck Carr goes in my top 5 of favorite Marlins ever, but for no baseball reasons, and just because it was such an incredibly arrogant clown show that I loved it.
Roy said that's his favorite Marlin. Roy, who was your second favorite Marlin?
Dave Magadan.
Wow.
Wow, you are going old school,
Magnan.
It's a bit
man.
of an upset.
That was my
wow.
mom's favorite Marlin.
That is a bit of an
I had a
upset.
framed card of Dave Magadan.
Really?
Like, I would have been less surprised if you had said Matias Carrillo. I would have been less surprised
Ooh,
than
Kiko
Dave
Calero.
Magadan.
Kiko Calero.
How do you feel about Olynyk at a Fish concert?
It makes sense.
How about Rush?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Rush.
When's the
Rush
last-
is pretty good.
Wait a minute. What do you mean Rush? What do
It's
you
a
mean
hair.
Rush is pretty good? Right. Wait a minute.
I'm
Whoa,
so
whoa. Rush.
Yeah.
You've got Olynyk, who's in his 20s, going to enjoying an 80s or a 90s rock concert?
Well, I'm doing it more by physical appearance. Olynyk is a guy I could see at a Rush concert. Certainly a Fish concert. Definitely a Dead concert. Mumford & Sons. I mean, Mike, give me some bands that are similar to Mumford & Sons. Like Zach Brown Band?
Well, no.
No?
They're kind of a country band, or as Dan likes to call them, country western.
The perils of using the text machine with no knowledge whatsoever, right there on display for everybody.
I didn't use the text for that. I was asking seriously. I thought Zach Brown Band had some
No,
similar styles to Mumford &
When's the
Sons.
last time you guys thought about Taylor Tankersley?
Wait a minute. You thought that's something that just happened right now?
What,
That was an independent thought that you had?
What, Tankersley?
No, Mumford & Sons. You went from Mumford & Sons to Zach Brown Band, and you did that naturally in your head somehow?
For some reason.
What is happening there?
I feel like I've heard there's a Mumford & Sons song that I have on Spotify on a playlist, and to me and I also have a Zach Brown Band song that's also on, I think, the same playlist, and they sound fairly similar. That's what I was doing there. I could be wrong. I don't like the Zach Brown song. I don't know why it's on a playlist. I don't know how it got there. I don't know how to remove it, but every time it plays, it irritates me. How do you do that? How do you get rid of
Delete.
Is that it?
Delete. Edit, delete.
playlist.
I've been trying to do it for months.
Edit, delete.
Not
For
surprising.
months.
Let's see the song. Let's see if I find it. Terrible song. Zach Brown. We'll take a call.
Yeah, how are you worse at technology than me? How is that possible?
Let's take a call. Looking for this playlist here. Let's go to Arash. Arash, you're on a mobile phone today. Go ahead.
A lot is going on in sports. The juice is free. London is confused over which NFL is real, and the Yankees win. But the reality is that reading is overrated. I mean, I'm completely with Stugotz. Why read if you can get more information by watching a movie? I can retain information better if I can visually see it with my eyes in front of me. Plus, the only thing that books do is give you paper cuts. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, imagine how many words a movie is worth. Must be at least a billion or something. And the last time I checked, a billion is more than 1,000.
Right. Okay.
Peace out.
Rasham.
Very good.
Is reading overrated? Put that on the poll. Where's this Zach Brown? So annoying.
So you've decided, when given the platform to yourself to do your thing, to edit your playlist. That's what you've decided to do with this platform. Oh, for the love of God.
This song.
We also talked about our second favorite Marlin.
Yep. It's called Chicken Fried. This song, Chicken Fried. I can't get rid of it.
That's actually a good song.
I don't like it, man. I can't get rid of it.
Can you answer my original question? When's the last time you thought of Taylor Tankersley?
Wow.
Ooh.
I mean, when you asked about him 30 seconds ago during the Mumford & Sons conversation.
Take another call. Who's there, Dana?
Tim, you're on Wake and Take with Stugotz. Go ahead, Tim.
I got you, Stu. You go to the playlist, three white dots, top right on Spotify. Click that. You're going to see the word edit. You're going to be able to delete any song you want. Also, preseason basketball is... Yeah.
Yeah, my man. That's all. Thank you.
No problem. Got it.
Go ahead. Preseason basketball?
Yeah. It's just as useless as regular season basketball if the Warriors win every year. Retire the NBA. It's broke. I'll take it off air, guys. Rash 'em.
All right, rash 'em. I don't know if we should retire the NBA, but I will say this. We need
the NBA. Are you listening, or are you still editing your playlist? What do you mean retire the NBA?
Did he say the NBA is broken? He did say that, right? So the NBA is broken. That's what he said. He said retire the NBA. He said retire the preseason. He said it's broken. And what I'm saying is basketball is not broken. What's broken is baseball. We'll discuss next. Hi, everyone. Stugotz here. Support for the Dan Le Batard Show podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Chances are you're confident when it comes to your work, your hobbies, and your life. Rocket Mortgage gives you that same level of confidence when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. With Rocket Mortgage, you can apply simply and understand fully so you can mortgage confidently. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz, STUGOTZ. Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org number 3030.
Dan Le Batard.
Touchdown Miami's Aquarium Lolita. Come see Flipper. Come see Lolita swim in a bathtub.
Stugotz.
Come see sharks, possibly drugged, swimming in green water. Spend $5 on a wax figure that you'll regret as soon as you get home.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on the ticket.
Why aren't we doing Wake and Take anymore?
Well, we did a segment of it, and
you guys keep putting me in these positions where it looks like I'm eliminating Wake and Take when people are enjoying Wake and Take. Do Wake and Take.
Let me make it very clear. Dan is not ruining Wake and Take. When Dan's here, we do it for a segment or two, and it's my decision, not Dan's decision. If I want to go back to doing the normal show, we go back to doing the normal show. It has nothing to do with Dan. It has everything to do with me. It's my call. There. Let's do some show.
You just want to do our show. You don't want to do Wake and Take anymore.
Well, maybe next segment we'll go back to it. But for now, I want to do some show with you.
Okay.
I feel like, something doesn't feel right. We'll get there. We will get there, but something doesn't feel right when we're all just goofing around. I know you're frustrated with us, specifically me, and then we don't hear from you for 3 or 4 minutes. That's not what this show can't be like that.
No, I think it's funny when you don't hear from me for 3 or 4 minutes. And I think it's funnier still if you're doing Wake and Take for 10 minutes and you haven't heard from me and nobody even knows if I'm here or not. I think that's funny too.
Okay. Well, we'll continue to do it. But for right now, I wanted to go back to the show. If you're giving me control of this hour, then you're giving me control. And what I'm saying is,
yes.
No. I'm doing what I want to do. I did wake and take first segment. I might go back to it next segment. And this segment, I want you and me to do show with a shipping container. All right, let's go back to it.
I don't think Dan understands what control means.
I don't understand.
Well, he does. He understands that he's still in total control.
Well, hold on a second.
Yes.
Hold on a second.
Like a puppet.
Can I find out what you guys were talking about during the break? Allison comes in here. This is actually how it happens.
What happened?
Allison comes in here.
Yeah.
And she just sticks her head in, and this is just marvelous when she does this. Like, Allison's very helpful. She's always getting us a lot of different things that we need. What I'm about to say, not being among them. She sticks her head in here, and she's like, hey, Dan, everyone thinks in the shipping container, everyone thinks that you'd be a really bad dad, that you, amongst all of us, would be the worst of the fathers.
And then just leaves.
And then left.
Like a drive-by.
And then left. And I'm like, okay, thank you, Allison.
Drive-by of insults.
I said may or may not, and I said potential.
Wait.
Yeah. What?
But what was the conversation? Why was that? What were you guys talking about?
I think it was based on the cat conversation somehow, if I had to guess.
No, we were talking with Roy because Roy is about to be a father, and as is Chris, we established that it's a final countdown, that they're in the final countdown, and it just we're a little worried about Chris, to be quite honest. But it led to a grander discussion about who's least prepared to be a parent.
So you made Chris feel better by citing me as
we were
being...
talking about this behind Chris's back.
Yeah.
Chris wasn't here when we started, and then he walked in like mid-conversation, so then we kind of tried to switch it. Yeah, like,
we pivoted.
No,
but for a good 10 minutes, we were just trashing Chris.
So you guys don't think Fat Chris would be a good dad? Is that what's going on here?
The jury's out on that. We'll see.
I think he's going to be a great dad.
We're rooting for him.
Yeah.
We're rooting for him.
They've obviously never seen me with kids because I'm actually really good with kids. And I've seen Billy with a small child.
Right.
And, it's nothing to behold.
Wait till they're yours, though. Wait till they're your kids.
But what we were saying about Dan was that just visually it'd be funny to picture you like pushing a stroller into Prime 112.
Oh, he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do that.
I was thinking of you with the baby strapped to your chest on one of those harnesses smoking a cigar. It'd be funny.
Yeah, it'd be funny, but also very unhealthy for the baby. Strike against.
Yeah. I mean, Mike is pushing that stroller.
No, how about this one? You guys want to talk about me being rude? I went to dinner with Roy and his pregnant wife the other day. And was blowing cigar smoke all over the place.
Oh, no.
Now,
jeez.
To be fair to me, I wasn't particularly close to her on purpose. But still, I was having dinner with a pregnant woman while smoking a cigar. I was doing that. Do you feel bad at all? Do you guys? I feel bad all the time walking around South Beach when I see some Stugotz there with 3 things under both arms and dropping a shoe gets left in the street and can't wrangle the kids and's got like an inflatable dragon around his neck, and the father is just defeated, like he's broken. He looks 20 years older than he actually is because his whole life is spent trying to like spin these plates of we're getting out of the car and this is a process.
Those are tourists usually, though, right? Because it's like traveling with kids is really, really hard because you have to go, you go to one of these shops on South Beach and you buy all the inflatables.
It is almost always a tourist.
I don't know if they're tourists or not. I just feel bad all the time.
A tourist, like a Ford Taurus, is what they were climbing
a tourist.
I thought you were talking about the astrological sign Taurus.
No, I was talking tourist. I don't imagine that there's many, family of fives down here living on South Beach.
It still sounds like you're saying the
tourist.
Oh, with the T at the
end. No, there it is. Yeah.
Give him a couple more shots. It's going to become a tortoise. If we let him keep talking. What were you doing in the break? I saw this. Hold on a second. How did you use woman incorrectly during the break while you were talking to Myra? It made me laugh out loud.
I don't even remember. I know I was telling you that, armed with hindsight, the way I would have done it with Abby is never get married, no commitment. Because what do most people get married for? They want to have kids, right? That's the important part.
It's a horrible thing for you to say. If I could do it over again, I wouldn't.
That's not what I'm saying. I would do it over again, but I would just do it for 5 years. We would have a couple of kids, which is what we both wanted out of this relationship, and then she could go her way, and I would go my way.
Are you aware of how awful this sounds?
Listen. I haven't really thought it out yet. I'm just putting it out there for feelers. I'm floating it out there just to see what happens.
I don't really think this is the type of thing you should, spitball on the air.
At this point, she doesn't really care.
So you would be married for 5 years, have the kids?
No married.
Oh, no married.
No.
You would have the kids, and after 5 years, you'd split up. So, you'd be raising the kids by yourself part of the time?
And she would, yes, most of the time.
So basically what you're saying is you're leasing a wife, like a car.
And she's leasing me. Yes.
You are a terrible person.
I know, but the funny part about this lease, because he was talking about this during the break, and this isn't how I wanted to. I didn't want to get him here at all. This isn't what I was talking about. I was talking about him calling women during the break, and this is how and where we ended up. But I just said to him, like, yeah, they need your money, though, Stugotz. Your family needs your money. And he's like, yeah, I'll send it to him. And that's where I burst out laughing. I'm like, yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yes, right. You're going to send it to them. I mean, Guillermo's still waiting to get paid for Sports Bang. Like, what? You'll send it to them.
Abby has Venmo.
I mean, how absurd is that? Can you imagine that? Let's imagine Stugotz saying, look, honey, I need a break. I need to live by myself. I need some space. I need some room. I'll send you money. And Abby being like, okay, I trust you on that one.
I mean, she's never, ever, ever laying her eyes on that offshore account. I promise you that. But I will send her portions of my paycheck every month. Take care of the kids. Listen, it's my kids. I care about them. She'll get the money. It's the only things I care about are those two. And her. I care about her. I care about her deeply. Oh, my God. I am digging a deeper hole here. I'm just saying 5 years. I think 5 years is a good enough time. And then, I throw her back in the pool for her and flip it over to a younger one. Nothing wrong with that.
Chris.
And she gets to do the same with me.
Flip her over into a younger one.
It's like flipping a house. I mean...
I think this segment taught me that, Chris, you're going to be just fine if he pulled it off.
Right.
I'm a great dad, man. I'm not good at anything. I'm serious. I am lousy at just about everything. Fatherhood, I'm good at.
I will put a cigar butt out on an infant's forehead.
Okay, keep your eyes closed.
Okay.
I want to show you my first ever painting.
All right.
Okay. Open your eyes.
Oh, that's a lot of colors and shapes.
So be honest. What do you think?
Well, I like how if you switch to Geico, you could save hundreds of dollars on car insurance.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Here, why don't I hold your paintbrush while you call them?
Geico, because saving 15% or more on car insurance is always a great answer.
Don Batard.
So now what is happening with your wife?
Divorce is happening. I took my wife's truck to lacrosse practice last night. She said, listen, I'm low on gas. Please fill it up.
Oh, no.
But I'm thinking to myself, I'll just fill it up on the way back. Suddenly it's 8:30. Practice is supposed to be over at 8. My daughter had homework.
Monday Night Football's about to start.
Bingo.
Stugotz.
I said, listen, you have more than enough gas to get the kids to school in the morning and get to a gas station and get gas and then come home. She said the thing was reading, you have 4 miles of gas remaining.
Right.
The school, by the way, is about 14 miles away from the house.
Oh, no.
I am still not certain if she got the girls to school. I'm not certain if she got home. She called me at one point frantically saying, what do I do when I run out of gas? It says 2 miles to go.
She could be surrounded.
I said, walk to a gas station.
This is the Dan Batard Show with the Stugotz on the ticket.
I rather enjoyed the last couple of days, the juxtaposition of J.J. Watt raising $30 million in flood relief, and us trying to start something like that for Puerto Rico, and by comparison, getting 2 raffle tickets in a sad fishbowl. But you came strong yesterday. Thank you to all of you. Allison took a giant truck filled with supplies. And so we're going to make sure this stuff gets in the right hands. If you want to come by the Clevelander at any point this week, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., the sports bar in the lounge down here, the sports bar downstairs, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. If you have canned or non-perishable food items, bottled water, baby formula, diapers, mosquito repellent, pain relief medicine, can openers, non-dairy milk, any of that stuff, if you've got it and you can bring it by here, we would appreciate it. We're trying to help Puerto Rico, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. And also, if you want to buy a frozen drink here, the Clevelander will donate half the proceeds to hurricane relief.
I would like to thank Matt and all the folks at the Sandbar, because that big truck of stuff you saw yesterday that was brought in here was brought by them. They brought it in over here to the Clevelander, and we're getting it over to the people in Puerto Rico.
Thank you to those folks.
And we could actually add 2 more items to the items that we're looking for, solar-powered lights and solar-powered cell phone chargers.
Yeah, if you have any of that stuff, we are going to, the raffle tickets and stuff, we're going to give away some show swag to you if that's something that you'd like to win as this keeps going, as we see what's happening in Puerto Rico. Maybe we'll throw in like the idea of being able to do one of these charity events with us where people, pay $20,000 to experience something with us. Instead of asking for money, maybe we can raffle off like an experience with the show, or come around here and we'll give you a tour, or you hang out with Poppy, whatever, something to give people a prize or an incentive to come in here if you want a prize or incentive beyond just the fulfillment of helping.
What's been cool is most people aren't getting raffle tickets. They're just dropping stuff off because of the kindness of their heart. So we appreciate that.
Yep. And fewer people in the raffle for those handful of you that are there. So maybe you'll get the prize. Something we were just talking about off the air that I want to talk about on the air because I just perpetually find it fascinating. We've talked about it a lot over the years. The idea that newspapers disappeared very quickly because the business model the technology and the business model changed so fast that you cannot have a functioning business when you're asking people to pay for news thrown in your bushes on a delay the next morning for 25 cents, or you could get it instantaneously on the computer for free. That business model is it is exactly the opposite of how you need to do business. It's the worst possible way. But What I find fascinating is that people do not see how much this is happening across entertainment just like that everybody's making the same mistakes as newspapers. And the place that we're seeing it now is our podcast numbers are enormous. Enormous. The biggest at ESPN. But the terrestrial numbers across terrestrial radio, everybody is down because, of course, in 2017, people aren't going to listen when we want them to.
They're going to listen when they want to.
Wait a minute. On an AM radio in 2017. On an AM radio, or that's not how people do things in 2017. So what we've got is our podcast is cannibalizing the terrestrial thing. And the terrestrial thing is where we make money. The podcast is something we do for you that gives us reach, but without commercials. Why the hell? Here's what I'm saying. And the place I'm headed with this is we are going to end up getting into an enormous fight with our listeners if it gets decided to just eliminate the podcast. And it's not going to be our fault. It's going to be the technology changing so much that, of course, we've been giving it to you for free when you're on the exercise bike. You get it when you're jogging. You can do it on your time. If you've got a crappy job, you can listen to it while you're at the job. You don't have to listen on our time. You can listen on your time. But we exist for the commercials. And the technology is changing so fast on this that we're going to be pushed to the brink of having to decide, do we need to take this podcast away from you in order to stop cannibalizing the place that we make money? And people are going to be so mad at us if that happens.
Oh, I can't.
So incredibly mad at us if that happens.
I can't even imagine the reaction from our audience. I mean, I can imagine the reaction. I'm just saying it would be so overwhelming.
But what I'm saying is it's just interesting to see that we're making the same mistake. You saw it, and Netflix and television, the television model's making the same damn mistake. You can't have people TiVoing through the commercials. You can't give people all of these ways that they could get stuff when they want it, not when you want it, for free or for even a cost, and then expect them to pay for it. And now the toothpaste is out on this. We've been giving it to you for free. We've been giving you the smack for free for so long. For free, on your conditions, your terms, no commercials. You listen when you want. That we're ending radio with all of these podcasts. And it's a necessary evolution for the industry, for the technology, for the consumer. But how does a business model work if you're charging people for one thing and then incentivizing them to go use the thing that you're not charging them for? Like it's completely insane.
Pretty hard to coexist is what you're saying.
But it doesn't make any sense. We're making the same mistake newspapers made, and soon radio will be gone because of it. Like, how could it not be? How could it not be? It's the same damn thing.
Right. I think, just like with TV, Dan, there's a room. You're right. Everything you're saying is 100% accurate and correct. There's a little bit of room for live play-by-play on television, even live news when something bad happens. That's not stuff you're going to tape. You're going to go right to your TV and watch it. There's still, and I feel the same for radio. There's still, like, local sports and local news is still something that I think people, especially local news, is still something that they're going to listen to on terrestrial radio. But you're right, because the entire industry is shifting towards podcasting. All of it.
And I get it. It's so much more consumer friendly. But it puts us in a weird position.
Of course.
Like to me, it doesn't matter, right? To me personally, I just want to come in here and have fun. That's how I measure it. Are we having fun? Are we enjoying ourselves? Is the fun contagious? And then after that, is there creativity born of the fun? So that's how I'm doing the measurements. But this is not sustainable as a business model this way. Now, I know many of you that I'm talking to right now will say, well, that's fine. Just charge me for the podcast. I'll pay for it. Whatever, $5 a month or whatever it is. We might be headed there. That might be the stop before. But what if I were to tell you this, Stugotz? What if I tell you if we did a 1-month experiment, we took away the podcast, and all of a sudden you see the terrestrial numbers go up? The terrestrial numbers where we make money.
I wouldn't be surprised if they went up, and it would make our decision after a month even more difficult. Right?
It's not even a decision. Like, I'm not sitting here thinking about taking away the podcast.
Right.
I'm just looking at something practically. I'm looking at it and I'm like, wow, that technology is changing really fast. And radio, the people in radio are not Elon Musk. They are not equipped. It's a business of C students. And they are not equipped to make this transition. Hell, every time I ask you how we're selling this show, the answer for 15 bleeping years has been live spots. That's how we do it. All right, great. Stay there. Let's do it with live spots. That you won't die a slow death that way at all. Let's not do anything creative. Let's just do live spots because that's what we've always done. All right.
I mean, they've lined my pockets pretty well over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Live spots.
You're right.
But you're right. There should be a better, more creative way. And listen, I haven't come up with it because you've asked me to try to come up with it, and I have racked my brain for years trying to think of ways to do it differently, and I can't.
Yeah, it's a business of C students. I sucked the life out of the room here, huh? Everybody got mad? What happened?
We were having fun, and then,
Well, let's go back to Wake and Take then.
I mean, C students. And
it's not really.
We're not equipped for this. I'm not really in the mood to do Wake and Take.
You're not putting it in a spot to succeed at this point.
Yeah.
On Wake and Take?
Yeah, the grounds aren't fertile for Wake and Take.
It's supposed to be a happy thing, not a...
Earth has been salted. That's a good way to put it.
Do you guys have that? Did I sound like I was lecturing everybody? Because some people made the claim yesterday on something that I sounded like I was lecturing. Do you guys have imaging for me lecturing? Is there anything being that we can play of my father shouting, "Time now for Dan to lecture or sermonize you"? No?
I mean, it's just your dad saying something, "Time for Dad to lecture you." Right. And then it's just going to sound crappy.
You forgot, didn't you?
No, we didn't forget. We talked about it, and we thought it was a bad idea.
Yes.
Well, what to do here, man? Got me thinking too much. I don't like to think
here's
when
the
I'm
thing
down
that we
here.
do where Bobby just says what Dan says before it, and goofy bed.
I mean,
we're all just closer to tetrahedrons anyways, Dan. The whole world is burning down.
Wait a minute. I thought that was your formula. You mean you were doing something other than that? Wait a minute. Your production style was something other than my father saying something and laying down a crappy bed?
This is a nuanced production over here. Lots of moving parts.
Play a couple of examples of that. Can you just play a couple of examples of the things that you've produced that are either support my claim that it's just my father shouting something and you putting a crappy bed under it, or the things that you've produced that you believe to be immensely creative because you've really pushed the limits and the boundaries of creativity with your production? Feel free to play.
I can go with a B-roll. Like, this is one of those B-sides that we never really got to. It's a re-debut here.
Time for Dan and Stugotz to show off their national sports expertise and answer your pressing sports questions in Ask Us About Your Team.
See, this was my...
Oh, this is great.
You're talking about radio being filled with C+
I'm happy
students.
again, yeah.
A bunch of C students. And I myself, a proud C student, went to MDC. Go Sharks. My whole workaround for how is this show going to work nationally is having a segment called Ask Us About Your Team. Because that's what sports radio is. I'm happy you asked, Billy.
Well, go ahead. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions about their team?
What it is basically we have people call in and they ask us about their team.
Let's do it. Yeah.
And you guys, as national sports experts who climbed the ranks and became national on the second most coveted piece of real estate on ESPN radio, let's not kid ourselves, you'd be able to answer any questions about any team because you're experts.
Yeah.
786-456-4837. If you have a question about your team.
I think it works better nationally, right? I
think a lot of people are listening to us nationally now during the local hour.
We should do it. You're right. Nationally, we should do this.
Was this proof that my contention that you just throw down something with a crappy bed is how we produce things around here?
Look.
Give me another example.
Look, this bed is not crappy.
No, it's not?
I'm pretty sure it's supermarket sweep.
These musicians have all killed themselves because what they imagined their dream life was going to be in a life of fame and glory and music ended up just with that, where they went into a studio and played depressingly antiseptic music that could be played anywhere and be benign.
Let me find an example of Dan telling us, hey, can you come up with some sort of imaging, and it's just Poppy saying the exact same thing. Yeah. Well,
how do you guys feel about being called C students? A lot of people are objecting to the fact that Dan called the entire shipping container C student.
I wasn't. No.
I mean, you're an A student. Dan.
No. Wait, whoa.
I'm a
he doesn't
D
need to
student.
apologize for that. Yeah. In fact, a lot of us would take C student.
But that was not directed at the shipping container. That was directed at the entire industry.
I would have given anything for a 2.0.
Captain Handside.
My father can't say the word captain.
Well, that's another one of our challenges here.
That had echoes and everything. That one was tricky. Yeah.
We got people asking
that took mixing down.
There are people asking about the teams?
You have 30 seconds.
We got 30 seconds here, Dan.
All right. George, what do you want to know?
Hey, how you doing? First time, long time. New York.
Rick.
Problems with that.
Rick, what do you want to know?
Just want to know about the Los Angeles Lakers.
The Lakers, I'm telling you, Lonzo Ball looks like the leader everyone expected him to be. Brandon Ingram is fantastic, and I'm telling you right now, those two will be joined by LeBron, Paul George, Carmelo Anthony, and Chris Paul.